guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a get ready with me for New Year's Day. So if you guys enjoy these kind of videos, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you guys are always up to date on when I upload. So first, I'm going to be applying some lip balm, and then I'm going to take the Ordinary hyaluronic acid and just applying that all over my face. This is actually super hydrating, and I really like it since my skin is super dry. And then I'm going to be taking some IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream face moisturizer. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, and I really like it because it's hydrating. Next, I'm taking the ABH eye primer and applying that onto my lids. I'm going to be taking a flat brush and then using that to carve the bottom of my brows, and just using that to like clean up underneath and to spread the product all over my lids. And then I'm going to be taking my finger and using my finger and just like the warmthness of it to spread the base to not have like any harsh edges. And I'm going to be going in with the Morphe X Mani MUA Glam palette, and I use a couple of different shades from this palette. I don't remember all the names off of the bat, and I don't have the palette near me, but I'm taking like the coral shade in the palette and applying that first onto my lids. I just zoomed you guys in here so you guys can get a closer look of what I'm doing. Particularly for this palette, it's not like a review on this palette. Like the video isn't a review for this palette. I just wanted to try it out because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people love it while other people really don't like it. Personally, I feel like the matte shades were alright. I mean, they did have pigmentation, but for the most part, I didn't feel like they were super pigmented. This palette is just kind of lackluster to me. I'm using the shade, it's like the cranberry shade from the palette. And as you guys can see, it's not like super intense and like super cranberry. Like you definitely have to build it up. You definitely have to build it up in your crease to get it to show up if you want it as intense as it looks in the pan. And maybe it's also the fact that I had a shade underneath it that made it a little bit more light. But I still feel like if it was as pigmented as I'd like it to be, that wouldn't have been an issue. I think I'm using, I honestly don't know, it's one of the warmer shades, but I'm using that in my crease just to kind of make it more warm, not as like pink. I didn't want this look to be like super pink and cranberry. I wanted it to be more like sultry, even though I end up adding like a lid shade that makes it a little bit more like purpley looking. So here I'm adding the like shimmer purple. It's like a deep wine kind of color, and it's a shimmer. I applied that all over my lid with just a dry brush, and then in parts I also go ahead and apply that same shade with my finger, which I thought would make it more pigmented and more easier for it to apply onto my lid. But this shade had more fallout, and it was really hard to work with. I had to pack it on a lot of times to get it even as intense as I could get it, not as intense as I wanted. I wanted it to be pretty dark, but I just kind of got tired eventually of packing it onto my lid so much. And the formula is really weird. Like, if you swatch over it, it gets like this weird film. It's almost like one of those products where you would have to scrape off the top layer, which is kind of just a waste to me. And I did add a little bit of that dark brown shade into my outer corner, and then added more of that purple shade onto my lid. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to foundation. I'm using the Derma Blend foundation drops. I'm not exactly sure what my shade is, but I really love this foundation. I feel like it's a little bit dark for what skin tone I am for the winter, but I still managed to make it work. I'm actually using one of the sponges that was sent to me. This is from InStylish. I want to do more of a further review because this is only my first time trying out the sponge, but they're pretty affordable. I think you get 2 for $13, and I do have a code with them. But like I said, I'll have like a whole review up on the sponge later on, like in another video. For right now, I just wanted to try it out since I really liked the texture of the sponge. It blended out my concealer, applied my powder, and applied my foundation beautifully, so I really did like it. This was only one of the shapes that I was sent. The other one is a little bit more like a Real Techniques sponge. I'm using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Not sure which shade, but I really do like this concealer. It's super full coverage. It reminds me, well, the applicator reminds me a lot of the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and it's a really nice full coverage concealer. The only downfall of this concealer is that the shade looks beautiful once I apply it, but once I blend it out and it kind of like sets and adjusts with my skin, it starts oxidizing. So that's the only bad thing. If you get a shade that's perfect for you, it's most likely going to oxidize, and you'll need to get a shade lighter. So next time I'm shopping around or that I'm in need for concealers, I'll definitely have to get a shade lighter than this one. But their undertones are kind of odd, but I don't know, it's kind of like a mess with some concealers. Just like this foundation stick from Anastasia Beverly Hills, the shade I have is Fawn, but I feel like the one that I need to get next is going to be a little bit more dark and a little bit more warm, but it still does the job. Now I'm using the Cover FX setting powder in the shade Translucent, and I'm going to go ahead and just set the rest of my face. I like to press the powder rather than swipe it, unless it's like obviously baking underneath my eyes, and I'll go ahead and swipe that off. And then I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Matte Bronzer. And I love to use like a fluffy but like compacted brush for this, just because I really like getting on the hollows of my cheeks to really slim down my face. Since I gained a lot of weight during my pregnancy, my face definitely gained a lot of weight with it as well. So I kind of go on the sides of my nose and underneath my jawline as well. And now I'm going to be using just some of the shades that I use in my crease and using them underneath of my lower lash line. I really wanted to do like my best or my most favorite eyeshadow palettes that released, or like makeup products that released in 2019. But I feel like it's a little bit too late to make that video. If you guys still want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. I think it's going to take maybe like a couple of days in the making just for me to be really sure of what products I really enjoyed in 2019 and like that I discovered in 2019 and I didn't discover in 2018, you know, because I don't want to get repetitive. But I feel like a lot of people, well, maybe the people that I watch didn't make those kinds of videos or don't make them anymore. Now I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio, and this is the one I always use. I believe it's called Pool Party. So I'm going to be applying that on the high points of my cheeks and then a little on my nose, just because I've been liking the really like blushed nose look. And yeah, here I'm taking the NYX lip liner in the shade Brown. And I'm just going to be lining my lips. This shade isn't really a brown though. Like, it is brown, but I feel like it's really cool tone, which kind of threw off my whole lip color because I wanted my lip color to be nude but really warm. And yeah, I had to go in with a couple of different lipsticks to get it to like really meet my standards of what I wanted and mainly cover up this lip liner because I really didn't like the undertone, but once I applied it, I kind of couldn't go back. So yeah, just gonna keep lining my lips. I do overline my lips because I desperately want lip fillers. I just wish my top lip was a little bit more full. Alright, here I'm going to be taking an e.l.f. liquid lipstick. So the shade that I applied on my lips was Blushing Rose. And then I went in with a little bit of ColourPop's Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Zuma. And if you hear my child, he's on my bed. So you can hear baby being kind of loud. And then I always like to go in with a brush to really blend the lip liner and the lipstick together while the lip liner isn't fully set, because that's when you'll be able to really work with it. Especially if you're doing a matte, then that's why I recommend working quickly before it dries. Alright, so now I'm going to be taking the Omrezi highlighter. One of my favorite highlighters. I'm pretty sure this came out last year, right? Or am I tripping out? And 2019 was just a really long year. But Omrezi's highlighter is such a staple in my collection. I love that highlighter. Any single time I'm like contemplating on what highlighter to go to, that's just like the perfect highlight. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and set my face, and I'm kind of just enjoying the moment with my fan. Super relaxing to just like set your face and let the mist set completely. And I'm gonna go ahead and, while my face is still kind of dampened, add more highlighter because I really like my skin to look dewy. And that's pretty much it for the entire look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications, and I will see you guys all in my next one.